Going to be a Slackers tune or a solo tune. No, I don't think about the difference. I just try to make it so it's a tune, I think.
In the end, do you like decide one way or the other? Like, I'm going to do this solo just because it's not going to get done with the Slackers in the next time? Or
I definitely do it so that the tunes need to get played. I sometimes get really pissed off at the Slackers because I'm like, hey, this is a good song, man. You should like this, jerk. You know, and Dave's like, I don't know, it sounds too much like, you know, I mean, what is it, you know? I mean, the Stones do that much better, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I know, but, you know. And then I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna really show you.
I only get a chance to produce stuff like off the road, because that's when we're not on the road, and I could be home and record and do that. But writing, you sometimes try to write and just have nothing. Sometimes you just have an idea that you just jot down. Yesterday at the airport, like coming back from Norway, I was like, you know, just like scribbling down lyrics and shit like that. Whatever, working out tunes. But it's just suddenly, like for me, like I have it like kicking around in my brain for a few days, and then I'll like write it down. Do you ever write stuff like according to a beat? Like, go, okay, this is gonna have like a reggae beat or a ska beat, or you just have a song and however it goes, it goes?
Nah, the songs never have a beat. I don't think. Sometimes when I try to write a ska song, it comes out good because it's trying to be a ska song. But if I try to write a reggae song, it's always hokey, and I sound like White Stafari. Hence the early Slackers.
Yeah.
You ever write for somebody in mind, like with somebody in mind?
Yeah, like with Slacker tunes, I'll write in mind, like with somebody in mind, or you know, like the tune that Happy did. I kind of had him or somebody like that in mind to do a spoken word thing. Somebody that wasn't necessarily a singer.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
You picked the right guy.
Yeah. Or like what guest musicians have you had like on your solo stuff?
Oh yeah, my friend Lisa from down in Bavaria is the coolest one of my favorite. She's one of my favorites. I heard her and I thought I should sing with this girl. She was like different sounding. Ari Up. I mean, come on, you know. I had the Gypsy Band playing dancehall beat, and I'm like, Ari, and she's like, I completely understand. Not even any explanation needed.
Like, who did I have? I had Happy from Sick and Mad. He did a spoken word thing that I had, which was like kind of a version of like a Gil Scott-Heron thing. And Jack from the Forthrights did most of the singing. Chuck from TCB did some harmonica. And Angela Solo from Montreal did a tune.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
I think there's some kid on YouTube or something that I think I want to make his record, you know?
Yeah.
Now, bands like, I think one of my favorite bands are bands we play with, honestly. I think the Skints, I think like, you know, like we were talking about Maddie the other day.
Yeah.
You know, it's people you see potential and not just potential, but coolness that you couldn't do yourself. You're like, yeah, I need to help them do that. Constable Brennan was one of the bands from way back that was like, if I couldn't make their record, who was going to make their record for them? Anybody would try would make it suck. And if I was going to make it suck, at least it'd be my fault. I would only have myself to blame instead of some other jerk.
Take on the burden.
Totally accept it, yeah.
I talked to like, I guess like Dirty Revolution. They're a band from like Cardiff. I wanted to do some stuff with them, or like the Skints, definitely. Revelation. There's a lot of English bands I do, but then like Forthright's definitely. I did some tracks for, like the Hard Times, but I just talked to bands here and there, like I guess like the Pedal Tones from LA. Like I'd like to do some stuff with them, where people I talked about like doing dubs of their tunes.
The California guys are good.
There's like there's good stuff happening out there, man. Like I'd definitely be interested to do that.
I would say, teleport me onto Mozart's tour carriage. With Hilliard, though.
Yeah.
Because me and Hilliard want to do the tour of Europe with Mozart.
Yeah.
You know, the 2 months.
Yeah.
Takes a few months to get from place to place. We're going with Mozart. I want to tune the clavinet every day.
Patron, hang out with courtiers and such.
You know, Beethoven. Maybe chilling with Beethoven. Guys like that. Beethoven, I get the impression, was probably like a Charles Mingus type too, I think.
Yeah.
You know, though I love Mingus, I think I'd be frightened to be in his band.
Yeah.
I heard he was really mean, and I'm definitely half-assed when it comes to things. So definitely don't teleport me into Mingus's band.
Yeah.
I'd love to listen to it, but Mingus would kick my ass.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I always thought about like, I mean, everyone's sure like, you want to be in like Kingston in the 60s or something like that, you know, around the ska times or 50s. I'd probably, what would I do? You'd probably just make records and do that, or in 50s in Memphis or something like that.
Oh.
Turn of the century in New Orleans,
But I mean, how difficult would it be to shine?
Exactly, because you're up against guys that kill on guitar. Like, sure, Paris in the 30s, but Django Reinhardt or Oscar Aleman, I'm trying to compete with gigs for. Like, I don't think so,
In some ways, now is the best time.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Exactly. No, I think so. You can never go back. You gotta just do your thing.
Yeah. But it's easier to make records now.
Yeah.
You can actually wear
physically easier, but it's also, because of that, everyone's doing it, so you're throwing your thing into this like sea of and everyone thinks they're doing something great, but it's in this sea of stuff that's just so hard to pick out. People are bombarded where if you throw like the Mona Lisa into like a million other portraits, how would you even notice it? You might not even stumble across it, Not to say I'm painting the Mona Lisa, but maybe like a nice stick figure,
Yeah, I don't know actually when I first met you. Obviously it was Agent 99 days. So, I think Dunia brought you an aura around. And it was like, oh, who are these weirdos?
Right.
Like, are these weirdos we don't know playing ska stuff? Well, we don't know them. Because it was, at that time, it was Mephistopheles and the Scofflers and all that. So, Dunia kind of just grabbed you guys almost, it seemed like, from some other weird, like, where'd she find you guys? I don't even know. And then Happy made Aura playing Sick and Mad, and then you were playing Sick and Mad, and now everybody's in the Slackers.
I remember seeing you around at gigs like Nightingales and like probably like maybe SOBs. Like I remember seeing you around for a while before I first met you, and like Dania, who was our singer in Agent 99, was like, oh, Vic and blah 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 and the Slackers and this and that, and I was like, and it was around, and then when I finally met, I was like, oh, that guy, I've seen that guy around. It was funny. Vic, people don't know this, but Vic totally like looked like a skinhead. You had like the collared shirt, like buttoned, and you had totally shaved head, and you had like boots on and stuff like.
Yeah.
It
was very badly dressed.
Yeah, no, but you had it work, man. You were like, you had your thing going. I was like, oh, that guy.
And then I was like, remember, Jeff was looking for Stubborn All Stars guys, and he made me vouch for you.
Oh, he was like,
for this guy. Hey, this guy screws everything up. I'm gonna blame you.
And to this day, he blames you. Oh, we got our fish and chips, man. Nice. To this day. I remember the first time we actually had a conversation was you were subbing we were doing a gig, I think, at Nightingales or something.
Yeah.
And I was staying at Aura's apartment on 5th Street. It was like summer of 93 or something.
Yeah.
And I had an amp up there, my Fender amp that I still have, and we were doing a gig at Nightingales, we were using it, and I needed a hand down with it. And Daniel was like, "Oh, this is Vic, whatever." And the first conversation we had was like me and you loading an amp, true like Manhattan style, loading an amp down like 5 flights of stairs,
the skinniest stairway
on Fifth Street. And you were like, "Yeah, man, yeah. So you like, you play ska or something?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, like Desmond Decker, stuff like that. But we don't really sound like that or whatever, you know." And it was like, yeah, that was the first conversation. And now it's like 17 years later, and we're still like lifting it. Yeah. So yeah, man, like we're still having the same conversation.
Hey, you got that record?
Yeah.
That's funny.
The Sam still weighs a fucking ton, man. You know?
What's that?
All right, Sly or Robbie?
Sly.
Tape or digital?
Definitely tape.
Bike or subway?
Bike.
Studio One or Black Ark?
Studio One.
Europe or Asia?
Ooh. Asia.
Yes.
All right, Sly or Robbie?
Sly, definitely.
Tape or digital?
I gotta say tape, but I've come to like accept digital, man. Like, you know, you gotta, you know how you learn to stop worrying and love the bomb. It's like,
Indeed.
yeah.
We know bike versus subway.
I'm a bike guy.
We know that.
Hands down.
Studio One or Black Rock?
Studio One.
Europe or Asia, the band?
The bands, Europe or Asia, that's really tough. But like, I don't know, man. Continents, Europe. The bands, Europe or Asia. Final Countdown versus Heat of the Moment. I think maybe it might have to be like a steel cage match. 2 bands enter, 1 band leaves. You know, I think they might have to just